Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to your last math class. How exciting is that? All right. And I think baseball is going to start like in a month. So go Pirates. So excited. All right. So let's get started on our math. Okay. So if you could open up in your books, it's the last time I'm going to ask you to open up your Go Math book. Congratulations. We are going to work on our Chapter 11 review, okay, for our test. So it says, find the perimeter of each figure on the grid. So a grid is just like, it's just your graph paper. So whenever they say a grid, it's something that has a line, all the lines drawn out for you. And it says, identify the figures that have a perimeter of 14 units. Mark all that apply. So hopefully you guys know that perimeter is the distance around. And it's not always a rectangle. I always make a rectangle because it has 4 sides and it's all the way around. But as you can see, this has multiple sides right here. So you're going to be doing the distance around. So you're going to count up all the way around, making sure you hit every edge. And you can see I'm putting dots on all the edges. So if you count that up and you get 14, then that's the one that you choose. So count them all up. I'm not going to count them for you. Hopefully you're pausing the video and counting up all the sides. Look at all these sides that you have to count up on this one. You have to be very careful. It's like stairs. Okay, hopefully you paused the video and you counted them up. There was more than one. Okay, so you couldn't just stop at A, which was one of them. Hopefully you got A and C. Okay, nicely done if you did. The next one says, Kim wants to put trim around a picture that she drew. How many centimeters of trim does Kim need for the perimeter of the picture? And we know perimeter is the distance around, and they're all sixes, and so this is a square. So you could also use multiplication for this. So you could have 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, or repeating addition, which would be 6 times 4, which would be 24 centimeters. Sophie drew this rectangle on the dot paper. What is the area of the rectangle? So hopefully you know with area are straight lines through so that you can count up. So draw your straight lines on so that you can find the area. Okay? So once you have that, you can then, let me see if I can get my finger to work. You could have 2 times 4, and that would give you the area. Or you could just go through and count up all of the area that's covered inside. And hopefully you got 8 square units. Okay, so we're moving on to the next page. And it says the drawing shows Seth's plan for a fort in his backyard. Each unit squared is 1 square foot. They want to know which equations. So it's plural, so we know it's going to be more than one. Which equations can Seth use to find the area of the fort? So first off, we want to figure out what numbers we would use for the area. So go in and count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 on that side, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you know you have 4 groups of 7 or 7 groups of 4, because we know we can use the commutative property of multiplication. So now we have to go down and we have to look at A, B, C, D, E, and F. So go through, pause the video, and choose which one works. All right, you're back. So hopefully you have 4 groups of 7, which you chose C, and 4 groups of 7 right there. Okay? They did try to trick you by doing 4 groups of 4, and hopefully you didn't fall with that. And they also did B was a good one, but that was the perimeter. Hopefully you didn't fall for any of those tricks. You're too smart for that. This is the end of third grade. You know what you're doing. All right. Which rectangle has a number of square units for its area equal to the number of units of the perimeter? So it's going to have the same area and same perimeter number. Okay. So we need to go through here and we need to make sure that we choose wisely. So this is 1 and 7. This is 2 and 6. This is 3 and 5. And this is 4 and 4. So go through, pause the video, find the area and find the perimeter and find which one has the same units. Okay, you're back? Perfect, you did it. So hopefully you found that 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, which is the perimeter of the square, is 16. And you also would have multiplied for area and found that 4 times 4 is 16. So B was your answer. All right, let's continue on. Vanessa uses a ruler to draw a square. The perimeter of the square is 12 centimeters. Select a number to complete the sentence. So it says, we have here that each one of those is 5, right? Or that's an S, okay. I was going to say that didn't, okay, that's an S. So we're looking for S each side. She's saying that going around is 12 centimeters. So 4 sides added up all the same because it's a square, that all 4 sides added up is going to equal 12 centimeters. So you have to decide 4 times what? And hopefully you did 4 times 3 equals 12. All right. Looks like a 5 on my screen. That's why I didn't understand why. What are they talking about? All right. Thomas drew 2 rectangles on grid paper. And it says circle the words that make the sentence true. So first of all, let's just figure out what we got going on here. We have 3 on this side and we have 4. So we know that the area is 12 and we know the perimeter is 14. Okay. Then on the other one, we have 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know the area is 12, but the perimeter would be 6 plus 6, which is 12, plus 2 plus 2. So 12 plus another 4. 12 and 4 is, you are right, 16. So the perimeter is 16. All right, so rectangle A has an area that is less than, the same as, or greater than the area of rectangle B. So we're saying the area, choose your answer, you are correct, is the same. And then the perimeter is, so let's look at the perimeter. It says rectangle A has an area that is the same as the area of rectangle B and a perimeter that is A greater than or less than the perimeter. Is the perimeter greater than or less than? You are correct. It is less than because it's 14, whereas the other one was 16. All right, so we're going to keep on going down. Pause the video and see if you can figure out, Yuli drew this figure on grid paper. What is the perimeter of the figure? And then what is the area of the figure? Go ahead and do that. Okay, hopefully you had time to figure those out. Did you guys all get 18 units for this one? And then did you all get 13 for this one? Okay, so this one you were adding up, you were going around because it was perimeter, so it was the distance around. And then this one was everything inside. All right, go on to our next page. These are probably so simple for you. All right, Sean drew a rectangle that was 2 units wide and 6 units long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2. So we had 2 and 6. Draw a different rectangle that has the same perimeter but a different area. Okay, so we've got the same, draw a rectangle that has the same perimeter but a different area. So the same perimeter. So the perimeter is 6 plus 6, which is 12, plus 2 along both sides, which is 4. So we have to have something that has a perimeter of 16. 16, okay, but a different area. So think to yourself, the sides. How can you divide 16 into different sides? So I was thinking maybe one that was 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. What do you think? What's 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4? A different rectangle that has the same perimeter but a different area. So think about 4 times 4, that's going to give us an area of 16. That's the same perimeter as our first one, but is it the same area? Because it has to have a different area. Well, this is 6 times 2, so that area, 6 times 2 is 12. So, do we have different areas? Yes. Do we have the same perimeter? Yes. So, we could do 4 times 4, and that would give us our 16. So, each side could have a unit of 4. I hope that makes sense. Some of these are tricky. You really got to think about it. Think about how you can equally divide something or add something up that's going to equal the same. And it depends on if it's the same area or the same perimeter. Okay, so Mrs. Rose put a wallpaper border around the room shown. Okay, so around the room. So we know it's wallpaper, so it's perimeter already. She used 72 feet of wallpaper border. What is the unknown side? Oh, what is the unknown side length? This is really cool. Okay, so this would be algebra. So we're finding the missing number. Okay, so we know everything around equals how much? You are correct, 72 feet. I love finding algebra. I think it's so much fun. So what we have to do is we have to add up all of our sides, and then all of those sides added up, whatever the difference is between those, and what number do you think? 72, you're right. So it's going to be 72 minus all of those numbers added up. So you do the math. Go ahead. Okay, did you come up with 16 feet? I hope you did. All right, so this A right here, if you add it up, 20 plus 16 plus 6 plus 8 plus 14 plus 8, all of that should equal the 72, which is the distance around for your wallpaper border. All right, we're going to move on to Elizabeth. Has 2 gardens in her yard. I planted my first garden, a vegetable garden, my first vegetable garden this year. Have you guys all gotten your gardens in? Are you helping your parents with their flowers and all the gardening? So much fun. All right, Elizabeth has 2 gardens in her yard. The first garden is 6 feet long by 24 feet wide. Okay, so she's got 6 by 4. All right. Then the second garden is double the width of the first garden. So double the width. So go to 4. And what's doubled 4? You are right. It would be 8. Okay, so the garden is double the width of the first garden. The area of the second garden is double the area of the first garden. For numbers 12A to 12D, select true or false. Okay, so now you have to figure out, okay, well, the first garden is 6 by 4. 6 times 4. So here's her garden. It's 6 times 4. And that gives you an area of 24, correct? So it says the first garden is 6 feet long by 4 feet wide. The second garden is double the width of the first garden. So we'll just draw another garden. And we're going to double, okay? So if we were at 4, this is now going to be 8, okay? So the second garden is double the width of the first garden. The area of the second garden is double the area of the first. Well, what is the first area? It is 24. So what would you do? You would double 24. So what is the double of 24? 24 plus 24 is 48. So it says for numbers 12a to 12d, select true or false. So the area of the first garden is 24 feet, true or false? That would be true. Hopefully you're doing this on your own, not just waiting for me to do it. The area of the second garden is 48 feet. Well, 6 and 8 went on a date in 1948. So you are correct. Now the next one says the length of the second garden is 12 feet. Well, I don't see 12 feet up there, do you? I do see a 6 and an 8. So that one would be, hopefully you're seeing that that one is false. And the length of the second garden's feet is 6 feet. Hopefully you're seeing that that is true. We're going to move on to our next page. Marcus, he bought some postcards. Each postcard has a perimeter of 16 inches. So perimeter is the distance around, okay? All of those postcards, each postcard had a perimeter of 16 inches, which could be one of the postcards that Marcus bought. Mark all that apply. So that means that he has more than one postcard because it says mark all that apply. So it's perimeter. So perimeter is, tell me what perimeter is, length plus width. So you're going to add up all of these sides. So we have 5 plus 5 is 10, and 3 plus 3, which is 6. So we have 10 plus 6 is, you are correct, we have 16. So that one could apply. This next one is 6, 4, 6, and 4. Well, I'm going to put together the 6 and the 4 because that's super simple. Those two sides are 10, and the other 6 and 4 are 10. So that would be, you are correct, 20. That one doesn't work. So then I'm going to do the next ones. 10 and 10, that's 20, and 5 and 5, that's another 10. So that would be 30. That one doesn't work. So then we're going to go, oh, look at that. 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. So we know 4 times 4 is, you are correct, 16, and that would be a postcard that Marcus would have bought. All right, now we're at Anthony. All right, Anthony. Anthony wants to make 2 different rectangular flower beds, but each with an area of 24 feet. So you have to think to yourself, what shape could you make that would equal 24 in the center? And he wants them to be rectangular. So that means they're going to have 2 sides that are same and another 2 sides that are same. So you're going to be equally dividing the 24 into how many different parts? You're right, 4. So you could say, okay, well, I could make it 24 divided by 4 would be, what do you think? You are correct, 6. You could make one that is 4 times 6, which is 24. Well, that's the only way you can divide 24 by 4 is doing 4 groups of 6. So now we have to come up with another way. What's another way you could have an area, the inside, that has 24? Well, what about 2 groups of 12? 2 groups of 12. Well, that's 24. Is there another way you could do it? What about just one? This would be a really weird one. One big long one of 24. okay? So there's a couple different ways that you could do that. And they all have an area of 24 feet. He would build a wooden frame around each flower bed. The flower beds will have the side lengths that are whole numbers, okay? And so each square unit on the grid below is 1 square foot. Draw 2 possible flower beds, label each with a letter. So we did 3 different ones that we could do, okay? And then part B says, which of the flower beds will take more wood to frame? So now we need to figure out how much wood, which one's going to take, did it say the most? I gotta scroll up, the more wood. Okay, so we know the longer they are, the more you have for a perimeter. We've learned that in all of our lessons. So let's do the perimeter of all of these. So we have perimeter is length plus width plus length plus width of a rectangle. So 6 plus 6 is 12, and 4 plus 4 is 8, and we know 12 plus 8 is 20. Okay, well, let's look at this next one. We have 24 and 24 and 1 and 1. Good heavens. What do you think? Think that's going to be pretty big? I think so too. So you've got 48, 49, 50 on this one. Wow. Just think how much that's going to cost compared to the other one. And then the other one is 12 and 12 and 2 and 2. So you have 12 plus 12 is 24 plus 2, 26 plus 2, 28. So obviously the one that has the longest sides is going to have the biggest perimeter, which is going to take more wood. So if we label this A, B, or C, B definitely would be the one that takes the most. Okay, Keisha. Keisha draws a sketch of her living room on grid paper. Each square unit is 1 square meter. Okay, so a meter is like the arm, your arm's length. Do you remember that? Show me a centimeter. Show me a millimeter. It's right there, the side. Okay. All right, so Keisha draws a sketch of her living room on grid paper. Each unit squared is 1 square meter. Write and solve a multiplication equation that could be used to find the area of the living room. So take a moment and write out your multiplication. Hopefully you are doing 4 groups, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hopefully you're writing that up, and then you would write a multiplication, 4 times 10, or 10 times 4, which is 40 square meters. All right, let's head on down. Oh my goodness. Mr. Wick designs houses. He uses grid paper to plan a new house design. And I know a couple of you guys, your parents helped to build and plan your homes that you guys live in. So they probably used grid paper when they were doing your house plans. The kitchen will have an area between 70 square feet and 85 square feet. The pantry will have an area between 4 square feet and 15 square feet. Draw and label a diagram to show what Mr. Wicks could design. Okay, so it's saying could. So you have to remember, it's not like set in stone. Okay, so you're going to draw a kitchen that has an area between 70 and 85. Okay, so he's not telling you exactly, but he's giving you a little wiggle room so you can figure that out. And then the other one has an area between 4 feet and 15 square feet. So you're going to do your own design, okay? So take a moment, pause me, and draw your design, okay? And then come back. Okay, so I drew mine. So it has to be between 70, let me see if I can highlight here, 70 and 85. So what I did was I drew mine where it took up 72. So that's in between 70 and 85. So I stayed within my limit. And then from my pantry, because I had such a huge kitchen, I was like, well, why do I need such a huge pantry? So I made a smaller pantry and I did mine 3 feet by 2 feet, which gave me 6 feet. And that was in between my 4 feet and my 15 square feet. Okay. So hopefully you drew your own design, but that your areas fell between 70 and 85, and then your pantry fell in between the 4 and the 15. I think that our last question. How do you guys feel? Do you feel brilliant? Are you ready for 4th grade? I am so excited for you. Okay, well, I think I'm going to do a video that's kind of like our last wrap up video, but because Judith is passed out over there asleep, she's still quiet and tired, so I didn't want to wake her up. Plus, she was really wild this morning, so I'm glad she's asleep. Okay, so Judith and I will do a little wrap up video. I hope you guys enjoyed Go Math and that you learned lots and you're ready for 4th grade because I am so proud of everything that you guys have done this year. All right, take care. I miss you all.